Princess Serena, not Princess Serena, and today I'm going to be talking about some pin trading lingo because I am so deep into this hobby. I mean lifestyle, clearly. No secret here, why am I even whispering? I forget sometimes that this is not common knowledge just because it has been ingrained in my personal everyday vocabulary, but it's about to be ingrained in yours because it's as easy as ABC 1, 2, 3. I thought this would be a fun way for beginners to learn the terms, but also for pin experts that are kind of familiar with everything to kind of challenge themselves and think, okay, what can A be, what can B be, what can C be, and see if you think of ones that I didn't even say, because there definitely are multiple words that could go with certain letters, and there's other letters I was stumped on, but I have a list of 26 pin trading terms for y'all today, so you don't have to sit there and say, je ne sais pas, next time you run into any of these terms, which means I don't know in French, by the way. I'm also going to be showing you a closer look at my Pixar alphabet set as we go through each letter. So, without further ado, let's get into it. A is for artist proofed, or AP for short. Sometimes you'll see AP stamped on the back of your pins, which means that this pin was one of the select few that were made just to confirm details of the pin and make sure it's perfect before they go into mass production. So it makes the pin a little bit more valuable just because there aren't too many of each pin out there. B is for bag, booster, and box. I couldn't decide between these three, but then I realized they kind of fit in the same category because they're great ways to get pins for cheaper, and they're great for trading as well. I would say a bag is the best way to build up your traders most cost effectively because you're guaranteed 5 unique Disney pins in a set of 16. That's already practically a third of them. And then if you like the set, of course, when you get more, you may get doubles, but it's a great way to build some traders and trade for more from that set or other pins that you may like. And then you have a booster, which has 4 to 7 pins depending on the booster pack, but these are not a mystery, so you know what you're getting. And then a box consists of 1 to 2 pins depending if you're getting it from the parks or Shop Disney and what kind of pins are in it. And the set is typically about 10 pins. And all of these consist of a theme, usually a movie, or a more general theme like popsicles, for example. C is for completer and chaser. They're very similar, but let me break down the difference for you. So a completer is a hidden Mickey pin, more on those later, where you actually cannot trade with them with cast members. Instead, a few months later, this pin gets released in gift shops in these hidden Mickey pouches. So when you finally do get the pin, then you complete your set, thus the name. While chasers, on the other hand, you actually can get from the moment that the set is released because they're in the mystery boxes. They're just less common than the other pins in the set, hence you have to chase them down. D is for Disney Studio Store Hollywood. Hollywood? Oh my god. D is for Disney Studio Store Hollywood, or you may see it referred as DSSH. So this is a store that's located in the heart of Hollywood, not in Disneyland actually, but it is owned by Disney. And they have lots of limited edition pins that instead of the classic Mickey back, they have an ice cream cone back, which is adorable. I aspire to go there one day. And you could also get ice creams, but more on those later. There are also open edition pins there as well, but they are exclusive to that location. E is for El Capitan Theater, which is located right next to DSSH. So this is where all the Disney movies premiere, and they actually have exclusive pins there as well. And they're all very rare, and this is where the famous marquee pin series comes from. F is for fantasy. So fantasy pins are not licensed by Disney, they are fan-made. However, they are completely illegal as long as they're not copying Disney's pin molds. They get them manufactured themselves in China and they sell them on Instagram, Etsy, Facebook, or anywhere else you could buy anything really. And they're typically very low edition sizes because they're not going to pay to get thousands produced like Disney, of course. So they range usually between limited edition 25 and 100. So they are very exclusive and you cannot trade them with cast members in Disney because again, they are not Disney licensed. G is for Grail. So the definition is pretty subjective and unique to you because it is any pin that you are really after, like the ultimate pin that you want in your collection. Typically, they're more expensive or they are really hard to find. H is for hidden Mickey pins. However, now they're called hidden Disney pins because they're using their other properties such as Marvel. Hidden Mickey pins are released every year, although last year I don't think they had any. It was strange. And you cannot buy them. You find them on cast member lanyards, and they have this little hidden Mickey icon, but for their newer properties, they have different symbols. Like for Pixar, they have a little Luxo ball. They are typically sets of 6, with 5 of them being available for you to hunt for, because the 6th, again, is the completer. I is in search of, or ISO. You will see this word probably the most out of all of these words, because whenever people are looking for a pin and they want to see if other people have it for trade or sale, they'll say ISO. And sometimes you'll see DISO, which I didn't know this one until recently, but it's desperate ISO. Like, they absolutely want them. They're probably their grail pins. So you make a collage of pins that you're after and you post them to Facebook groups, your Pinstagram, Instagram, but for pins. Or you can just say ISO and then say a movie or a character or a theme, and people will post in the comments or message you. J is for jumbo. So Disney makes quite large pins sometimes. They're not as common. They're typically limited edition pins, and they run on the more expensive side, but they are detailed and beautiful. And there are also mini jumbos as well. So like, they're bigger, but not huge. And they're comparable to fantasy pins, because fantasy pins run on the larger side as well. K is for Kraken Trade, which is a company that sells Disney licensed pins, but they also sell pin accessories like bags and books. And they are such great quality. You don't have to stick the pin backs within the pin, you just stick it on the page, whether it's the book or the bag, and you could shake it and it will not come out. But even if it did come out somehow with the bag, then it is actually zipped up because it's a see-through compartment. So you can see it, but it won't be going anywhere. So it's a great way to bring new life to your pins and take them off the board and bring them out. And the books are a great way to keep your traders in for pin trading events, but also to store them. A lot of people don't display them on the wall like me on boards. Instead, they like to have it more like a photo album type of thing where they pull out every once in a while and they'll stare at them that way in their book. L is for limited edition or limited release, also known as LE or LR. So LR pins aren't exclusive to a certain number. Basically, they're produced until a certain event is over, and then whatever's left is left, and then they won't make anymore. Whereas limited edition pins have a size, LE 300 for example, which means there's only 300 in existence. And once that's sold out, it's sold out, and you have to get it on the secondary market. And LE sizes range from LE 100 to LE 5000, though some of the older pins you'll see LE 10,000, but at that point, it doesn't really feel super rare now, does it? So they stopped doing that. And fantasy pins go even lower than 100. M stands for Mickey's of Glendale, or MOG for short. So this is a cast exclusive store located in California where you actually have to work at Disney to go and buy things there. They have exclusive merchandise, including really rare Disney pins, which go up in value really fast. This is where the popular profile series comes from. N stands for not for trade, not for sale, or NFS or NFT. So when people want to share their collection, whether it's to show what they have already and their ISO ones they're missing, or they just want to show it to the community so they can appreciate their collection, you should be saying this just so there's no confusion and people aren't messaging you wanting to trade or buy for some of your pins that are in your personal collection. And sometimes you're just looking to trade or sell exclusively, so you can say NFT, but pins are for sale, or you can say pins for trade, but NFS. O is for open edition, or OE, and these pins do not have a certain number that is made. They have thousands and thousands, and they could be making them for 5-10 years. And they are widely available throughout Shop Disney and the parks for years to come. P is for Pin Trader's Delight, or PTD. Going back to DSSH, they sell ice cream there. When you buy the Pin Trader's Delight Sundae, it comes with an exclusive, very low limited edition size pin. They release 3 at a time. It's a great way to add some niche characters into your collection as well, because they have a wide range of characters. They have to hold an ice cream, and the ice cream looks different on a lot of them, and they're fun to have, and I'm starting to accumulate a couple because they just came out with the Lizzie McGuire PTD, which I did secure. I'm excited to show on my channel probably next month. So it's kind of funny because if you get a pickup for one of these pins from someone, you're technically buying them an ice cream as well. Q is for quality control, or QC. This is a common term in the fantasy pin world because once Someone produces pins, they get them shipped to them, and then they don't all come out perfect because they're handmade, of course. So they have to go through them and distinguish the A, B, and C grades from each other. An A grade being a near perfect pin, and then the B and C being slightly worse quality. Though most of my B grade pins I can't even find the flaw, to be honest. R is for resources. So I thought I would share some great places to go beyond this video to learn even more about pins and see what pins are out there. So there's a website called PinPix, and it has a search engine where you could practically look up any character and get as specific as you want or vague, and then it'll come up with a bunch of photos of pins that relate to what you typed. And it's a great way to find your ISO and see what's out there and see what you want to collect. Another great resource is Disney Pin Blog. They have a YouTube, an Instagram, and a website. It's a great place to see all the new pins coming up and all of the pin news, like the upcoming pin events. S is for scrapper, which a lot of people use the word scrapper and fakes interchangeably, but technically they are not the same thing. Fakes, I could do a whole other video on. They're not authorized by Disney, and they are stolen molds by Disney. They're being sold for next to nothing, and they're making their ways through the park. They're less good quality, and it's really sad. But a scrapper is actually a pin that Disney did produce themselves, but the quality didn't reach the thresholds that they hold themselves accountable for, so they throw them away, but then some people sell them. So they are made by Disney, these ones, but the quality is not good. So they can look like a fake pin, but the technicality makes it a little different. T is for trading rules and U is for uniform. These go hand in hand, so I'm just gonna combine the two. So when you go to Disney, you will see cast members wearing lanyards or holding pin bags, and it's part of their uniform, and it's a way for you to pin trade. So the rules are you can only trade 2 pins per cast member per person. So if there's 3 pins you see on there, well, then you can bring your sister and she could trade for 1, and then you can keep the pin. And also the rules are it has to be a Disney licensed pin, so it has to say copyright Disney in the back. It doesn't have to say pin trading though, because there are Disney licensed pins from different retailers that are okay to trade in the park, such as Loungefly or even Target. And they have to be hard enamel, and finally they cannot have a personalized name on it, because there are Disney licensed pins that have, you know, those souvenirs that like you find your name. I mean, I wouldn't know, I never find my name, but you cannot trade those as well. V is for value. So this is a tricky one because you see people selling their pins, but you're thinking like, how do I know if it's really worth this? Why is this pin so little? Why is this one so much? Well, a great way to determine the value of your pins and other pins is to go to eBay and then filter your search result with sold listings. So then you can see what people were willing to buy for it. And that's what typically people refer to when they're pricing their pins. W is for Walt Disney Imagineering, or WDI. So going back to the Mickeys of Glendale, they sell WDI pins. These are a classification of pins that are very rare, very low limited edition sizes, and are very valuable. You can only buy them direct from Disney, again, if you are a cast member. I do own one WDI pin, but I got it on the secondary market. X is for extras. I had to get a little creative. I am aware it starts with an E. Adding extras like stickers, candies, and notes, or anything else you want to add to it really puts the magic in magic mail, which pin mail is often referred to. Y is for YouTube. Not just my channel, but there's so many channels out there to give you even more resources to how to pin trade and just to see how it works and see the pin trading vlogs, which I hope to film one day when I go to Disney next. And it's just a great way to get into the community as well and connect with others that really love pins. Z, or Z if you're Canadian like myself, is Zap. So I was just talking about extras, but a zap is something a little extra. You are sending them an extra pin that they did not trade for or buy. Sometimes you make people aware of these zaps, or sometimes you throw it in as an extra surprise. I've gotten complete packages as zaps, like I was not expecting a package from a pin friend. And zaps can also be non-pin related if you're getting a whole package of like snacks, stickers, and a package of Dunkaroos like Lauren Ryan sent to me once. That definitely was considered a zap. I was not expecting a package at all. So that's it for the pin trading alphabet. I hope you enjoyed. This was a really fun one to organize. If you haven't already, please subscribe for more pin related content from me every Tuesday. I'd love to know in the comments down below if you've learned anything from this video. or if you thought of some words for certain letters that I didn't. And as always, take care of yourselves and have a magical day. Bye!